Russia's death of Russian general. Ukraine gets new generation jets. One of the biggest problems of our age is the problem of accessing accurate information. In order to access the right information, it is necessary to use reliable sources. Today, which we call the age of technology, the importance of communication is increasing day by day. Rapid developments in the communication sectors make our lives easier with technology. Under the war conditions, propaganda activities are of great importance in addition to communication. This important work is done through the army. The state is a mechanism that should provide the most accurate information about the war and even knows the most accurate ones. However, states sometimes do not share all the facts with their people at once. When making strategic moves and plans, not all information can be shared with the public. Recently, the Russian media was shaken by a shocking news. According to the news, a senior Russian commander lost his life. Detailed information about the Russian general who lost his life raised suspicions that the incidents could be in sabotage. Now, if you're ready, let's examine the details about the death of the Russian general together. A former Russian general and the Kremlin bodyguard who oversaw the construction of one of the Russian President Vladimir Putin's residences died this week at the age of 69. A prison monitoring official said. The senior commander was named as Gennady Lupirov. Gennady Lupirov had been serving a 10-year prison sentence since 2017 on bribery charges he has always denied. Viktor Babarkurikin of the Public Monitoring Commission said that he died after unspecified illness while staying at a penal colony near Ryazan, a city about 125 miles southeast of Moscow. Babarkurikin said that Lupirov had been feeling unwell for some time and was taken to hospital by ambulance. He did not elaborate on what illness the general suffered from. A former head of Russia's Federal Protection Service and the Security Service in the Caucasus, Lupirov was responsible for ensuring the security of state facilities in southern Russia, including the presidential and prime minister's residences. According to local sources, Lupirov had no previous medical problems and was preparing for parole. At the hospital, he was told he had undiagnosed with leukemia. However, test results showed nothing abnormal during the hospitalization. This raises different questions. It is known that whether Moscow or Kiev had a hand in general's death, but the fact that the general had been in high positions for years was suspiciously sent to the prison and disappeared suggests that this happened because of what he knew. News of his death came shortly after a regional government announced that Colonel General Gennady Zhitko, who had been dismissed for mishaps in Moscow's war in Ukraine, had died at the age of 57. The successive news of the death of top commanders had also caused concern within the Russian military. According to the information obtained from local sources, soldiers in the Russian army have been experiencing days full of anxiety in recent days. Faced with a different crisis every day, Russian soldiers are experiencing the breakdowns of the war psychology. Mikhail Dektyarov, the governor of Khabarovsk Krai, said in a post on social media that the former commander of Russia's Eastern Military District and former Russian Deputy Defense Minister died in Moscow after a long illness. Zhitko was revealed of his post as a commander of the Southern Forces Group in October 2022 and was replaced by General Sergei Surovikin just a month later. His dismissal came after Russia suffered heavy losses in the war. According to local sources, the Kremlin administration is believed to be carrying out a purge operation, starting from the upper echelons of the military and bureaucracy. The constant disappearance and pacification of the critics and opponents of Vladimir Putin in Russia cannot be a coincidence. Experts continue to investigate this issue. On the Ukrainian front, there are developments regarding fighter jets. According to a U.S. official, the U.S. is committed to approve the transfer of F16 fighter jets for Ukraine as soon as pilot training is completed. Denmark and the Netherlands are taking the leads in setting up a program to train Ukrainian pilots on the American jets. But the U.S. is still working with the other countries to see who can provide the Ukrainian Air Force with F-16s. Details of the training program, such as its planning and content, are ready. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has sent letters to his counterparts in Denmark and the Netherlands assuring them that the transfer of the jets will be in full support of the Biden administration and will move quickly once training on advanced aircraft is completed. A one-page training concept from the Danish Defense Ministry laid out a 6-month plan to prepare pilots and ground crews to operate fighter jets. The U.S., however, has yet to receive a formal training plan to familiarize and prepare Ukrainian pilots with the fourth-generation fighter jet. Although a number of other countries fly the F-16, the U.S. needs to sign off on the transfer of training materials, simulators, and manuals for the jet because it is an American aircraft carrying sensitive technology. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby said in a statement that they want to get the jets there as soon as possible. He also stated that it is necessary to ensure sufficient pilot numbers and English proficiency. He shared that after these conditions are met, the trainings will proceed more healthily. Kirby, the spokesperson for the U.S. National Security Council, said that they think this training could start relatively soon. A spokesman for the Ukrainian Air Force said that the Ukraine will not receive F-16 fighter jets before next year, as Kiev's backers are still hesitant to take steps to provide Ukraine with advanced Western jets. It is already clear that we will not be able to protect Ukraine with F-16 jets this fall and the winter. Ukrainian Air Force Colonel Yuri Ihan said in a remarks reported by Ukrainian outlet Ukrinform. Ukraine has long called on its Western backers to provide fighter jets to support the Ukrainian Air Force. While Kiev have received additional Soviet MiG-29 jets from the NATO members, Western jets like the F-16 would be a marked upgrade for the Ukrainian Air Force in all-out war with Russia's more modern fleet. Sending fighter jets to Ukraine is seen as a longer-term commitment than previous military aid packages to arm Ukraine. And although analysts increasingly see the move as inevitable, they note that it is a larger and more expensive undertaking than other forms of military assistance provided so far. In an interview with European media in late May, Ukrainian Defense Minister Oleksiy Reznikov said Ukraine would need about 100 Western jets, mostly US-made F-16s. Experts said Kiev would need dozens of well-functioning jets to make a significant difference to its air force. Thanks to the fighter jet support and training support to be provided to Ukraine, the combat capability of the Ukrainian Air Force will increase. In this case, it will have a serious strengthening effect in the counterattack operations against Russia. According to local sources, there is already a sense of unease within the Russian military. Do you think there is something suspicious about the death of the Russian general? Do you think it is a coincidence that those who oppose the Kremlin leadership are disappearing? How do you think fighter jet support to Ukraine will change the course of the war? What do you think Ukraine can do with a more powerful air force in counterattack operations? Do you think the US and European countries' support to Ukraine is enough? We care about your views. Please share them with us.